Hello, folks. Welcome to another edition of Duck Talk. My name is Eric Lateska. I will be your host. We're here today with Don Dove. Don, thank you for being with us.
My pleasure to be here.
Now, Don, we'll go through some of your resume here. You are a Hall of Fame member of the DPBA, the NDBC, Bowler of the Year on the DPBA Pro Tour 3 times. An interesting accomplishment very few people manage to get to is you've won back-to-back on the tour 2 times.
Right.
And then, the most recent and incredible accomplishment is eclipsing the record held previously by Jeff Piles of 18 tour titles. You got to 19 last October at Johnson's Lanes in Hamden, Connecticut. So let's start there, Don. 19 victories is a lot to look back on. But do any of them stand out in your memory as being, favorites or the most exciting and difficult matches?
Oh, yes. Actually, the very first tour I won was in 1988, which seems like a long time ago. I was my 7th tour ever. And actually, the final match, I needed to throw a strike in the last frame to tie. So we bowled Mike Trepanier, threw the strike, and then nobody knew what to do. It was kind of amazing. There was a lot of people in the back, like maybe a couple 100 people or so. There was a lot of people cheering. It was a great atmosphere, and I still remember like it was yesterday. And the tour director's like, "You go here, and you're going to go first." And I'm just like, "Oh, just bowl, right?" So it turned out that I bowled first. Mike bowled his 2 frames, and then I think he had a mark and an open, and I had a mark in the first frame. So I think I needed like 9 on the first ball to win the tour, and I threw a strike, which just ended it. So that was my 7th tour. I'm thinking, well, this is really. I didn't think it would be easy. That is not the way to say it, but I didn't think I'd get a win this soon. So it took me 9 years to win another tour. So that next tour was in 1997, and then after I actually won that tour, they just started to fall into place. And I guess I had a practice regimen that I was always looking forward to the next tour. So, like, for instance, if I bowled, like, say, a lucky strike, I knew the characteristics of that lane, so I might go out and find a place around me that's sort of similar to here, maybe different equipment, different angle, different ball speed, something that, I know I'm going to need to be able to execute that game at that place. And that's what I always, look forward to the next tour. I didn't really lament on any win. So I think that's probably a lot of what enabled me to keep doing it. And I guess I didn't really look back. And I actually a few years ago, I did think about, how did you do that? And I don't really remember, I just remember practice all the time. But I always would look towards the next tour immediately after the last tour. It's kind of like an NFL team that would say, we're going to enjoy this win for 12 hours, and then we're on to the next team. And that's how I was with, being on the tour when we were in the season.
It's a great, the first win is always pretty special, and breakthrough win. It took you a little while to get the second one, but it's a good message to a lot of bowlers out there who have just 1 star and are looking for their in the hunt for their second. So, Don, I don't know if you know this. I mean, it sounds like you kind of answered this question already. Maybe you'll have a different answer to it, though. But I don't know if you know this. I mean, you're pretty good at this game, right?
Sometimes.
When did you know that you were as good as you are?
I think that's part of what makes me be successful. I don't see it. You see me. I don't see me. I know what I feel. And I feel like I'm always trying to improve. And obviously the accolades and things falling into place and winning tournaments and being ranked number 1 in the country, and that all, makes you look like you're good. But I feel like there's room to get better. Actually, as I'm getting older now, it's even harder to do so. So, obviously I'm good at it, but you think I'm better at it than I think that I feel that I am.
Yeah, well, there's some humbleness there. I mean, that's a great thing to hear, and then also, you can still see the motivation, the thing that keeps you competitive and driving to just continue progressing. I mean,
I just love the bowl. I mean, if it wouldn't, these tournaments, you wouldn't have to really have any money or anything in it. It's just the competition, and I just love to do it. So I'm fortunate enough to be able to do something on the side that I enjoy doing immensely.
Yeah. So shifting gears a little bit here, Don, the Eastern is a historic tournament. This is the 85th running of the tournament, the longest continuously run tournament in all of duck pin bowling. So what keeps you bringing you back to it?
This is probably the only tournament I've never won. I've come really close a few times. Actually, I think one year, I'm not even sure what year it was, but I bowled the first weekend and I was top leading the tournament. I came in third place in the last frame. Two guys threw doubles in the 10th to go by me. So I was like, wow, how much closer can you get? But it just hasn't fallen my way yet. Hopefully one day, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, on that note, I mean, what would it mean to you to get this added to your resume?
This would complete it.
Yeah.
This would complete the resume.
Okay.
There's not, people say there's something you haven't done yet. Well, yeah, there is. Yeah. I haven't won this tournament.
Well, you're here to give it another go this year. Do you think that you can win it? All right. And more importantly, do you think you can topple the tournament record, the 12-game world record held by your friend Scott Walker?
All right, folks. I'm going to tell you right now, we haven't thrown a ball yet in 2015. I am not breaking the record. Nobody's going to break that record. That's an amazing accomplishment. And not to take anything away from it, scoring conditions have gone down a little bit, but that score is outstanding. And I really do not see that record ever being broken. I don't see the 655 set ever being broken. The year average of 164. That's never going to happen. You might get somebody have a really great run and maybe break the 279, but to do that, you would need 10 strikes out the gate. And I mean, we watch now, four-baggers are special. Where before, I mean, we go to a pro tour 25 years ago and go to a 40-lane center. If you had a good shift of bowlers, there's no time when you wouldn't see a triple up on the overhead scores. So scoring has changed a little bit. So I don't really see anybody beating that score. And I guess if I get into a groove and things go well and I keep everything in line, you never know, I might be able to have a good weekend. But I just take it one ball at a time, and I don't worry about that until game 12.
Yeah. So last question, and it's a follow-up to that one.
Sure.
Scott's a good friend of yours, obviously. Does your friendship with Scott make you a better bowler?
Oh, yes. And I think it's also the other way around. I mean, we practice probably 3 Sundays a month, and we go out, and the place that we bowl is a special, and we bowl probably 8 or 9 games, a day. And I think we push each other, and we both love to bowl, and it keeps us competitive. Because if I didn't do that, I wouldn't really be that competitive anymore. I'm one of those. Some guys can come out and just lace them up and go, and in another game or so they're ready to go. I need the repetition, and I think Scott does too.
Well, it's a great note to end on. There's friendships here and friendly competition that drives us all to continue getting better. Don, thank you very much for being with us.
It's a pleasure and an honor to be interviewed.